Dad once told me that to attract the people you want, you gotta have a magnetic personality. While that might be a top-tier dad joke, I think I know of a certain X-Man who'd agree with that theory. Yeah, I know Marvel fans are going crazy over Professor X and the Illuminati right now, but spare a thought for Magneto. He's the kind of villain who makes being bad look good. So I'm here to talk about my top 10 Magneto power demonstrations in the movies. Yep, we're starting off with a massive flex. For a guy who just recently committed murder, you'd think Magneto would want to hold off on the killing, but I guess he just went with the vibe of his time. What really stands out is how calm he was during the whole thing. Yeah, I know the army messed up by firing first, but come on, that's just overkill. He would have caused some serious destruction too had it not been for Charles getting shot. Like, seriously, he was controlling enough firepower to wipe out an entire civilization, kind of like Apocalypse in 2016 with the nuclear weapons. Luckily, his flex ends after a metal tug of war and everyone's alright by the end of it, well, except for Professor X. But at least he managed to give The Weeknd some inspiration for his smash single. Also, look at the bright side, Charles. You're in the MCU now. Sort of, I guess. Man, this scene was devastating to watch, and I still can't believe they managed to shove it in a PG-13 movie. Sebastian Shaw is a very demanding dude who's clearly never heard of performance anxiety, so he pushes little Eric to move a coin, otherwise he's gonna have to say goodnight, mommy. Unfortunately, things don't go as planned, but what happens afterwards was freaking crazy. The prepubescent kid shakes up the whole room and even kills a bunch of soldiers by crushing their heads with their helmets. Jesus Christ, that's some hardcore shit right there. I know that's a bit of a plot hole here because he doesn't direct any of his anger towards Shaw, but that doesn't take anything away from the sheer brutality that Magneto brings to this scene. Sometimes I wonder why they made such a serious film for teenagers, and then I remember that this is the same movie with Wolverine's "Go fuck yourself" gag.
Ausgezeichnet, Eric.
Gotta say, this scene kind of reminds me of the time I first discovered my special powers. Look, Magneto's already a strong mutant, but even he needs the occasional push every now and then. We can see that when he struggles to move a satellite dish next to the X-Mansion. Luckily for him, he's got his buddy Charles to help him find the point between rage and serenity. To be honest, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but it sure as hell works for Magneto because holy shit. The dude manages to control the entire dish without much fuss, and that's just with one hand. It's a nicely done sequence that not only shows off Magneto's true powers, but also highlights the bond between him and Charles. I mean, the two of them get along so well, I thought they were gonna make out or something. I'm sure Deadpool wouldn't mind that kind of romance, right? Ah, yes. Even this shit show of a film manages to make it on the list. Magneto turns out to be the good guy here as he competes against Jean Grey and her Phoenix powers to hold off a goddamn chopper from slicing up a bunch of soldiers, like how pizza restaurants slice their salads. It's an interesting battle between the two because the Phoenix is the most powerful force in the X-Men universe. However, Magneto manages to give it his all and puts up an impressive fight against Jean as he allows the soldiers to get to the chopper and get the fuck away from her. No, seriously, look at him go. He's pushing his boundaries. Plus, the guy didn't even shit himself after all that pressure. Gotta give him bonus points for that now, right? Bruh, this is easily one of my favorite Magneto scenes ever. To be able to keep Eric under check, there's one rule you must follow at all costs: keep the metal away. To be fair, the prison did follow that rule quite well, but unfortunately, one of their guards just couldn't keep it in his pants, and that allowed for Mystique to do her thing. Magneto gives a menacing look to the guard and plays with the audience as he almost goes into horror territory by shredding the poor guy's body with the metal inside him. And if that wasn't intense enough, he manages to pull his escape plan by using just 3 metal balls. No, I'm not gonna make a balls joke here because this scene is way too epic to ruin with a line about testicles. I save that kind of shit for characters that deserve it, like dark elves. This scene genuinely brought tears to my eyes and then shocked me with what followed. I don't think we give enough credit to Michael Fassbender for pulling off such a conflicted character with the kind of smoothness you won't even find in peanut butter. The dude's already faced serious trauma by seeing his mom die, and then they kill his wife and daughter too. Like, how else did you think it was gonna turn out? Anyway, Eric has lost all his humanity now, so he decides to give the soldiers a little taste of his powers by killing all of them with nothing more than a little locket. It's so sudden that even the soldiers don't even know what hit them, or should I say, sliced them. Magneto was definitely channeling his inner Yondu, and if I'm being honest here, this scene definitely had a bigger impact because the Mohawked assassin's arrow is a well-known weapon, but a normal person wouldn't even be able to kill a fly with a locket.
Is this what you want from me? Is this what I am?
Wow, I really fill this list with entries from First Class. Maybe that Jack Harlow song finally gotten to me. On a non-musical note though, this is yet another one of those Charles and Eric team-ups that leave us wondering if they should really turn their bromance into something a bit more exciting. I mean, think about it. Whenever Magneto has a performance issue, Professor X just drops by to save the day. Even here, when he's dealing with the Submarine, Eric can't get it up at first, but then Charles takes him from behind and suddenly he's able to lift his package like it's no big deal. Okay, I know that sounds very wrong, but I just couldn't help it. I just want them to have their happily ever after. I mean, is that too much to ask?
Everything they've built!
Magneto has this weird thing where he always powers up after a traumatic incident backed by some dude's random assistance. Apocalypse caught onto that and he made sure Eric's powers weren't going to waste when he helped him activate his true potential. And oh boy, it pays off big time. He goes on to give us a proper lesson in Science 101 when he manages to control the metallic content of rocks and bricks to create a massive dirt storm. I know it's not for a noble cause, but you've got to give credit to Apocalypse for triggering this ability. You'd think that typecasting would be a thing of the past considering we're in the 21st century, but then you've got Marvel making Oscar Isaac play Egyptian entities equipped with godlike powers. Well, to be fair, he perfectly nails the 2 roles, or should I say 4 roles, get it? Why bother with submarines and satellite dishes when you can lift an entire freaking stadium, right? Magneto sure loves to control massive objects, and this time he doesn't need Charles to cuddle up next to him for added motivation. He's got his family's death for that. After learning about what the Sentinels are being made for, Eric decides to have a little fun of his own because he doesn't want to die at the hands of a creepy looking robot later when he's old and wrinkly. Of course, he's got to make a grand entrance, so he decides to use something fancy for his mission. I don't think I need to say much when the dude is literally carrying a stadium all by himself, and he doesn't even break a sweat. And here I am complaining about how heavy my laundry basket is.
Do what you were made for.
Well, I'm sure some of you would have seen this one coming judging from the progression of the previous entries. Sir Ian McKellen was the man who brought Magneto to life on the big screen, so that automatically grants him OG status, and he does totally deserve it. The Phoenix is busy creating a mess everywhere as the Brotherhood proceeds to make its way towards the assassination of a little boy. Yeah, it's as bad as it sounds, but then Magneto decides to steal the limelight and lifts the whole bridge all by himself. Yep, that's only him. The Phoenix isn't providing him with any assists here. It's a serious flex that does drain the old bugger, but at least he gets to make a statement because, well, Jean was pretty much stealing the show for the rest of the movie from that point. But yeah, this scene puts him right up there with the likes of Clark Kent. Yes, Superman and Lois also count. Don't come at me in the comments. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 Magneto power demonstrations in the movies. Like, share, and subscribe if you're new around here, and head over to the description below for access to my Patreon, Discord, and social media. See you soon on the TV Regents.